Bubble boy.
Yeah.
Bubble boy. It's incorrect. Has to take steroids.
If there's
People.
one set of fans I would not with, it's the Bills.
Children, please, you got a whole life.
Yeah.
Let's buckle up here.
All I want for Christmas is for LeBron James and Serena Williams to have a baby.
Yo.
For science.
She must have been on suicide watch when she saw Gronk dent that. We're all going to die.
Smash that like button or I'm going to get kicked out of the house. I can't pay rent.
Welcome back to Sports on Tap. I'm your host, James Lee, with my co-host, Kyle Johnson. I get it now.
There you go.
I get it. Kyle's not here today. Literally, he does that every time. He just exhales.
That's it.
He's a mouth breather.
Oh, to a T.
He's a heavy mouth breather,
To a T.
but he always has to add a little extra to it.
He does. Okay, now introduce me.
And my other co-host, Ryan Fahey.
Hi.
Oh my God, it's like
Hello.
you actually have words.
I know.
But let's get it today into today. Words.
Yeah.
We're killing it. NBA playoffs have started so far. Biggest takeaways, Ryan.
It's okay to say Kevin Durant got bullied. It's okay to say it. They refused to say it, but it's okay to, because he did. He was getting just abused. Not like actually like foul-wise, like he was always getting double-teamed. He had like probably like 5-6 turnovers, which is almost like literally un-Kevin Durant-like.
Right.
Did he have a bad game? Yes, but I don't think it was because he was just off. I think he was genuinely given trouble.
No, I agree.
Like, and it's okay to say that, media. It's okay.
If the Celtics hold Kevin Durant to 20, 23, 25 points a game, that's an absolute win because there's no way Kyrie's going to be averaging 40 points a game.
No. Like, and that's what, like, everyone who's like, because the media's, for whatever reason, like pulling for the Nets again, because of course they got Kyrie and Durant, but they were just like, the Nets should be encouraged. I think Broussard said this. They should be encouraged because Kevin's not going to score 24, 25 points again, just 25 points.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but Kyrie's also not going to get 39 again. The Celtics also aren't going to miss 1,000 layups. If like there's a spray chart for the Celtics misses. There's literally like 12 circles right at the hoop.
Yeah.
Like right at the hoop. I'm like, they're not missing that many again, and we still won by one.
An
Like,
amazing play at the end too by Marcus Smart.
Amazing play at the whole.
The sequence right before that too.
That was the best defensive possession.
Easily.
Without question. And they were good. They were like not even on defensively that game either. That's what I kind of took away from it. Like they were mostly because of Kyrie. Kyrie went off. Like that was the only really like smudge on like the defensive end. But right at the end when it mattered most, Kyrie had the ball and they were on him like white on rice. Like, and he had to pass it out. And they made Durant take a deep three, and like I was watching it, and he went up, and I was like, this motherfucker is about to hit a bucket.
This is a guy that can do it.
I was like, he's about to hit this bucket and save his game.
He did it to the Bucks last year.
Exactly, but and then going up the court, it was the Jalen drive where early in the season Jalen goes up for that at the hoop.
I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to shoot it.
I thought he was going right to the bucket.
I thought they were going to call a timeout. I was like, why are they not calling a timeout? Which in hindsight is smart because it doesn't let the Nets set up for that final possession defensively.
Yes.
Because I'm just like, you call a timeout, you get something planned.
Well,
Glad they didn't.
It wasn't just that either. Go back to the offensive possession before the defensive possession at the end. Do we? Yeah. Actually, sorry. Let's go 4. Sorry, my fault.
Let's go to the beginning.
Let's break it down. Let's go to the tip of the game. Tip off, okay? No, but Kyrie hit a 3, I believe.
Oh, he drained it right before that.
Right before that. And the Celtics basically got a 2-1. They set up a 2-1. Then Shout out to Bruce Brown for just not playing defense on Jaylen Brown. It just literally just go, oh, no, buckets this way, Jaylen. That's it. That was that. And Jaylen got a 2, and we were down 1. So that right there was one of the biggest buckets of the game, just to like put us in that situation. And then that defensive possession happened. But literally, I thought Jaylen was going up for that. He kicks it out. Then, for sure, I saw who the ball went to. It went to Marcus. And I was like, God damn it. I was like 100%, like, I was like, here it fucking comes. It's right. It's happening again. And he goes up, and shout out to the 2 defenders who thought Smart, who thought Smart was Curry and jumped 4 rows into the stands off a pump fake.
But I think that's the not calling a timeout where guys don't know what to do if they don't get the setup. So it's just, in the moment, you have to react. So I think it's a smart play by Smart, because those guys where it's like last second, who can step up in the big moments, who's going to think about it. If you're seeing a guy go up for the last second shot, you're going to jump.
There was like, I mean, obviously they don't have the time clock right in the corner of their contact.
But they have an idea.
They have an idea. They know it's low.
Right.
And then the cut from Tatum, and then Marcus finding, because there was a guy at the circle, right on the hoop. There was a guy there.
Yeah.
And Marcus put it in the one spot where the guy couldn't touch it.
Yeah.
And if you watch that, Durant had such a defensive lapse.
He just
coverage.
stood there.
He was ball watching.
Which isn't like him, because he's actually a good defender.
Yeah, he was ball watching. He was just staring at it, because like it was probably one of those things near the end of the game, and you know that there's literally seconds left. And like him and probably like at least 50% of the stadium thought Marcus was pulling that.
Yep.
But I mean, just the wherewithal from Tatum to actually know to make that cut and Marcus to find him. Those plays, and keep in mind, their record in crunch time games is abysmal, Celtics. But I also think it's skewed only because of the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that could be a big part of it.
Like,
because the beginning of the season and now are 2 different teams.
100%. I feel like that's exactly what it is, though, because I feel like there was a lot of close games that we lost, especially early in the season, especially when we should have won. But like you said, 2 different teams. It was just those plays win you series and then win you championships.
Yeah.
Those plays. Not panicking, making the right play. And it was just the whole thing.
I think that point exactly right there where you said, for this, what I see with this Boston Celtics team is, I know like a few years ago, but when they were like Game 7 against LeBron and the Cavs and all that, I think it shows that this team has grown and has actually developed, and they don't get scared in the big moments, where now it's not even so much being scared, it's they know what to do. They're physically getting better at the game. Their IQ is higher now. They are only getting better. I think this team has truly shown the growth, and like not just this season. Clearly, we've seen that this season, but I mean over the years, seeing the development of Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart, saying like, this is the role I have to play. This is what I have to do, and I truly think that's showing the growth over the years of the process, as you know, the Sixers like to call it, actually coming together. Now it is only one game. But this is no slouch of a team. I know it's a 7 seed, but everyone knows they're not really a 7 seed. Right there is showing that they know what to do, and it's finally coming together.
There were buckets like I said, the 12 missed layups, literally. Yeah, that's just not going to happen again. That game, I mean, we also were up 15. Let's not forget about that. Okay.
Also true.
And I'm pretty sure we blew that lead, and I don't think Durant was on the court.
That I don't know. I didn't see that.
I don't think he was, honestly. If that's in Brooklyn, you can't do that. You need to build on that lead. When
you got to stomp on the neck. You got to finish it.
Foot on the gas.
Yep.
You can't. You could tell they got a little complacent with it. Because, I mean, I felt good. If I felt good, you know they felt good, too. I wasn't worried at that point. And then it got to like once it hit a 9-point lead, I was like, this is a brand new game. That was my feeling. And then it was, because Kyrie was just going off. Like
Yeah.
that was, and then but at the same time, like, man, I'm still riding that high of that game, because it was just, they pulled out a win that was supposed to be their win, and they did it.
The thing I take away from the game is that, yeah, it's a good win. In the moment, they stepped up. There were some low points, like they missed a lot of layups. Also, like you said, they were up by 15. They kind of blew that. This series will be intense all the way through. It's not going to be a sweep. I think this is going to be back and forth.
It's going to take years off my life.
I will not be shocked if this to go 7 games. It is
Me
going
either.
to be an absolute instant classic of a series. I don't think anyone's going to blow them out.
Instant classic game 1.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting at. It sets the tone for the rest of the series. I think this easily goes 6 games, possibly 7. I don't see it being an easy win. And we knew that from the start. What will change it all is if Williams comes back. I don't know if he
Yes.
can make it midway, but if he does, that is huge defensively.
100%. In your opinion, what in this series, what game is going to be the most that matters?
The most that matters. I think Game 3. I think Game 3 truly shows that, because I could see the Celtics winning again tomorrow night. They got the TD going, they got the crowd, they got everyone hyping them up. I think they're going to ride that wave. Game 3, if they get blown out in Brooklyn, I know they have home court advantage, but can they bounce back? And I think they can, because they'll be going back to TD Garden. But if you don't at least compete in Brooklyn, that's a problem. I'm okay if you lose by even 5. If it's a dogfight throughout the whole game, that's fine. But if you get blown out by like 15 or 20, that's a problem. That is a huge problem. Game 3, you got to at least be there.
And here's where I'm going to disagree with you. I say the most important game of the series is Game 2. Reason being, you can't go in the Brooklyn Tide, because there's a real world possibility that the Nets pull out 2 wins in Brooklyn, and you can't come back home 3-1.
Oh, yeah, I mixed that up. My bad. They played Brooklyn twice.
Yeah. You can't. You have to win this game tomorrow. You have to.
I think they will. I really do. I think they're going to have the crowd on their side.
I think they will too, but you also have to.
Also, Kyrie, I don't think he's going to be able to keep this up, because, and it's the, what is it, if I'm wrong, let me tell me how to pronounce it. Ramadan. Thank you. I was like, I know I'm going to pronounce it wrong.
You got the R right. Hey.
I knew. So, but the fact that he only can eat before sunrise and eat after sunset, I just don't see him physically being able to keep up with this. I really don't. I'm not saying he's going to be dog water, because he is Kyrie and he's unbelievable, but I think that will get to him to an extent when the game is on the line and he's got to be there. I think you're going to see him get worn down a little. I think physically that will get to him.
Because I think it started, if I'm not mistaken, I think it started like on the 2nd or something.
It goes from the basically all of April to the beginning of May. It's something to do with the lunar cycle, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about that. I was reading up a little on it. I know it changes a little, because I know Enes Kanter was doing it too, or because he's Muslim as well.
Yeah.
So but Enes Kanter wasn't like had to be the guy where Kyrie is one of the guys on that team. I don't see him physically being able to keep averaging 40 points a game in general. The fact that he is limited on eating.
No one does.
No, I
one
get
can.
that, but
yeah.
But on top of that, physically not being able to, like, even during a game, he can't drink water. I'm pretty sure he's not even allowed to drink water.
Because it is. I don't know. There's like, I would call them loopholes. I don't know if water.
I thought, now I could be
There's
wrong. What I was reading, I'm pretty sure you can't eat or drink while the sun is up, because it's supposed to strengthen your connection with God. Once again, I don't know a ton about this. I was just reading up on it a little. Yeah. So as much as I'm not a fan of Kyrie, it impresses me that he did that.
Mm.
But I think it's going to physically get at him.
It's fair. I mean, hopefully the hunger gets at him like, the fans do, apparently.
Yeah, let's get on to that before we get into my biggest takeaway.
Fucking loser.
Kyrie Irving, as much as I just applaud him for being able to put up 39. Now, my biggest thing is he didn't say anything before this series. The fact that he said, let's just put it all behind us. I'm ready to move on. Of course, Celtics fans, everyone's drinking. They're going to go at him. They're going to boo him. And then he's just flipping him off. He's like, I'm going to put it behind my head so nobody can see it.
That was the second one he did. The first one was just blatant. Running up the court, just
like what are you doing? The fact is that you're saying that I'm ready to move on, but then you don't move on, and then when he's going in after a loss and he's telling people to suck his dick and stuff, and it's like and I get people are egging him on.
I think that was halftime.
Was that halftime?
I'm pretty sure he's walking in and some fan was like, "Yo, Kyrie, you suck," and then he just hit him with that. And I was like, and I also saw a tweet where it's actually hilarious. He goes something about having some kid from probably Waltham be able to trigger Kyrie brings me joy.
That's awesome.
And it does. It brings me joy too.
It's just annoying that if he didn't say anything beforehand, if he said nothing about Boston and then he was doing all this, I'd be like, you know what? I'm still not a fan of you because I think you're kind of nuts. But I would get it. It's like, if somebody's saying this stuff to you, you're gonna react. You will react. But the fact that beforehand you're like, I'm ready to move on. Okay, then don't be acting like a fool.
I said this last year when the Celtics were playing the Nets in the playoffs or they were playing the Nets at home.
I would say it wasn't the playoffs. I don't think they matched up in the playoffs.
They did.
Did they?
Yeah. But regardless, he stepped on the logo and then had a water bottle thrown at him. Okay.
The water bottle thrown was unnecessary.
Yes, and I said that. But I also said it last year, and I was like, do you just expect to just do whatever you want and have no one react to it? Like, whenever you do something, usually if you do something and it's actually no, whenever you do anything, there's always a reaction to that choice, positive or negative.
Yeah.
If you give money to a homeless guy, maybe some good karma hits you down the road.
Yeah.
Something like that, positive. But if you do something negative, like full on step on the logo, and yeah, it's a logo, you didn't hurt anybody, but at the same time, you are also disrespecting. You're being disrespectful.
It's the meaning behind it.
Yeah, exactly. And then someone's gonna get upset at that and then act out. I'm not condoning the action.
Yeah.
But just like the clip we watched of who was it? Oh, it was Nick Wright.
The one time we agree with Nick
Oh my God,
Wright.
it was a beautiful clip because I was like, he's so spot on. Why are you surprised that people are acting this way after your antics?
Literally.
You did some dumb things, and people are not happy with you about it. I'm going to go through what Nick Wright said. It's just so spot on.
Which is shocking.
It was like he got here. He then over the summer was like, if you have me back,
I would love to.
I would love
to be here.
Started talking to Kevin Durant immediately about teaming up.
He's like, I'm gonna leave.
And he was, and then telling the media, we're friends. Friends can't talk. Joins KD in Brooklyn.
Instantly.
The Milwaukee series, he went
he was terrible. He was absolutely garbage
and also
that
wanted to
series.
guard Giannis, and got just crucified. It was like, and then basically also he made a good point too. He did also say these young guys aren't listening. They need to follow me. They're not good enough. He basically said something along those lines back when he played with us.
But yet he never stepped up to be a leader.
No.
He's a good number 2. I've always said that. He's a great number 2.
And so when you come back, then his first return back, he plays the media like a fiddle, basically calling the city of Boston racist. And then it's not about the return of Kyrie to Boston. It's now Boston is a racist city, and now everyone's up in arms about that. And it completely takes away. He plays, when he wants to play the media like a fiddle, he will. And that's exactly what he was doing. Yeah, are there bad characters in Boston? 100%.
Well, clearly, Boston's had a history. That's
a history, yeah.
I say you literally go back. That's
and
a whole
he
nother
played
thing,
that fact into making that the story, not him returning. Which again, you did something and people reacted to it. People were pissed that you said that.
Yeah.
And so the boos were even louder than they were when you originally were going to return.
The fact too is like, not to make this all about Kyrie before I get to my point, my biggest takeaway. No, nothing specifically happened to Kyrie that had to do with race himself. People don't like him because of his actions, because he's a nut job. He thought he was better than everyone. He thinks he's smarter than everyone. He's a hell of a ball player. There's no taking that away. That, like you said, the guy just put up 39 while barely eating. Like, you applaud that. That's amazing. There's no taking away his skill. But it's what he does off the court and what he says, or stomping on, the Celtics guy. It's his actions that speak louder than his words, because they never match up. He'll say things, and then he just goes back on them every time.
I can't stand I can't stand him. I genuinely cannot stand him.
No.
And then then his post game interview, where he was just like, we're basically saying like, the fans are say fuck you, this, fuck that, you're a pussy, blah blah blah.
I'm sorry, does he realize he's not the only guy that's ever happened to?
Yeah, and do you not realize you're in an away stadium at a whole city that you literally, actually quite literally flipped off. I was using a figurative term, but he quite literally did that too. Physically and like theoretically did too.
Yeah.
Of course people are mad at you for doing that. You're not a saint by any stretch of the imagination.
Not even close.
You did some dumb shit. People are mad at you for it. You can't do that. Even Shaq and Barkley were like, literally basically just like, man up. Like, you have to be the bigger person there.
Yeah.
Like, have a post game interview and be like, I didn't like the way I was treated. I would still call you a pussy, but regardless,
that's what fans are gonna do. Like, you can't go into this now. If they were saying things like racial slurs and whatever, then that's totally
that's
different.
way different. But you know what?
But they're not.
I know they didn't, because he didn't react.
That would be something different. He'd be turning around saying
100%. Yeah, like he said he did in the post game interview. Yeah, I'll turn and look in their face to see if they're about it. You didn't do that. You put two middle fingers behind your head and scratched your hair like you were just itching.
Yeah. He's a child.
Pussy. He's not a child, he's a pussy.
No. I'm not a fan of Kyrie. I think we've said all we can about Kyrie.
Oh, I could go on
and
for
the
hours.
Celtics, that's why I'm cutting it off.
Good.
Because we'll be beating a dead horse here.
Good.
My biggest takeaway, and I'm doubling down on it, Golden State Warriors are going back to the finals.
God.
Steph Curry has been coming off the bench. Game 1 didn't look too hot, but Jordan Poole put up 30. Awesome. Game 2, Steph Curry was coming in off the bench. He put up 34. You have three guys that can easily put up 30. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole. And I know they're going up against the 6th seed Nuggets, but you're going up against the potentially MVP, Jokic, who actually got ejected last night for getting 2 techs. And they're smashing them. They're just winning by 20. They are doing what they're supposed to do. This is the Golden State Warriors team we've been missing for the past 2 years with injuries. And just you don't have your team. And we've said it. Once they get back together, once they're fully healthy, they will be contenders. This team will be going back to the finals. You have a great head coach, amazing organization. You have guys that have won it. You have your guy in Steph Curry. You have Klay Thompson right there. Jordan Poole is filling in perfectly because he can be one of those guys if need to be, but he can also take a step back while everyone's there. Iguodala is back. I know he's not what he used to be, but it's just one of those guys that has been there. He knows how to work. Everyone knows their role. And I know it's the Nuggets, and they are only a 6th seed, and this is kind of what they should be doing. But the fact that Steph's coming off the bench and they're doing this, just wait till he's 100%. Done. I see them. The only team I'm really seeing them having to compete with is the Suns, because you got to give those Suns respect.
Have to.
But I'm sticking with the guys that have done it. The Suns, they weren't there last year. They haven't won it. You're talking about guys that have won it 3 times now. Ben 5 times. They know what it's about. They know the grind. They know how it is. They know it's a difficult battle all the way through. That's it. The Warriors will be back, and I'm sticking by it. Warriors-Celtics finals, without a doubt. That's my go-to. Celtics have a battle on their side. We just talked about that for about half an hour. Once they get through there, I think they make it. Warriors, I don't see them having a problem. They've been there. They know what it's about.
Barring injury, I'm still riding Suns, Celtics. But I get 100% what you're saying. Also, don't we can't forget about Draymond either.
Oh my God, bad to me.
Simply because
I'm one of those guys. Go ahead. Sorry, I can't believe I forgot Draymond.
Simply because he's been with them at the finals every step of the way. Everyone.
He's part of that big three. Bad's to me. I feel terrible for forgetting him.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's okay.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. But like, I forget what stat it was, but like the amount of assists that Draymond has with just Curry, it's like astronomical. I saw that number. I was like, what? Because like they it's not even like a pick and roll. It's more like he'll have the ball. Curry will like almost run behind him, and every time Curry's guy just runs into Draymond, and Draymond just goes boop, and Curry's wide open.
Draymond's pretty good at passing the ball. I don't know if people realize that. Actually, I saw one highlight from the other night, and he jumped up to get the ball, clearly passed to him. Kind of same thing. Somebody, I don't remember who it was. It wasn't Steph Curry, but someone ran behind him, and he just like passed it back. I was like, how do you have the whereabouts to know that? Draymond Green, also the Warriors are a phenomenal defensive team where they're not just so high offensive power. It's because of guys like Draymond who can run that defense. Steph Curry, who's always moving. Clay's a great wing protector.
Wiggins is no slouch either when he wants to fucking play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know what it's about. They have the depth. They have the talent. They have the coach. And most of the time they're going to have home court advantage, which is huge for them. I really think they're going to make it. I
hope it's a Warriors Suns Western Conference Final.
That would be an electric series.
I honestly want that simply because I feel like it would take a lot out of whatever team goes to the finals. Because I also think after this series with the Celtics, there's a great chance they just walk into it.
Like we talked about last week, I don't think there's besides the Brooklyn Nets.
That's what I mean. If they get past this series, there's a real-world possibility that they could walk into the finals.
And I respect Giannis, but I think they match up well against them. I think it's been shown. And Robert Williams should be back. And even if it's Celtics-Warriors, which I think it will be that, I think that will be another amazing series because this Celtics team is hungry. They're absolute dogs, which I'm finally seeing from all of them. The Warriors, their dynasty hasn't really ended. They just kind of took a pause because of injuries. But if they make it back, like this dynasty has continued, and they just know what it's about. They understand it's not easy to get here. I know they made it seem like it was easy, but they know it's not. I think that would be such a good series. I think the Celtics match up well against them, but they're very similar teams, I think.
I also like the Warriors Celtics matchup only because for some reason we can just win at Oracle. Is it still Oracle?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they're still Oracle. Did they change?
Did they change it?
They did. Yeah,
they
they left Oracle a few years ago because it was like a big deal. What is it now?
Don't care. But regardless, they seem to be able to find ways to win there. They've won their 6 out of the last 7 years.
Yeah, they don't get scared.
They were. I mean, it wasn't this team per se. Maybe one or two players.
I know what you're gonna say.
I think it's Jalen. But like they were the team to break that home streak.
They were the only team to win at Oracle one year.
Something like that.
It was like,
it was that 70. Or no, what was it?
I don't think it was the 73 win team, but I know they were like undefeated at home that season.
They were like 25-0 or something at this point.
And they were, if they weren't the only one, they were the first ones to beat them at home that season, which was such a big deal because it was a young team. Yeah. They were not what they are now.
Oh no, I don't even think like Tatum wasn't on the team. Jalen might have been.
Tatum was. I think Tatum was.
I don't think so.
Was it that long ago?
I think it was that. Dude, I think it was IT year. One of them.
Oh, I thought it was Tatum. But either way, I mean, but like you said, the past few years, Oracle hasn't really concerned them too much. That home court advantage hasn't scared them. That's why I would love that matchup as a Celtics fan, just because I think that the energy would not intimidate them.
Yeah, fair.
I understand the finals and playoffs is totally different. They've never played them in the playoffs. Clearly, it'd have to be in the finals.
Yeah.
But I think that would be an amazing matchup. But Warriors, Celtics, mark it. Put it down. That's what I got.
Phoenix Celtics, that's what I have. But
I'm not disappointed in either of those.
Me either.
Because if you have Warriors, Celtics...
Simply because the Celtics are in both options.
Celtics.
Yeah.
But if you get the Celtics clearly as a Boston fan, it's great. These guys have been grinding, trying to get there. If it's Suns, you have the guys that just lost last year trying to get back there and win it. Also, Chris Paul. Would love to see that.
Yeah.
2 young, talented guys, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker. Or do the Warriors continue their dynasty? Do they show that it was just injuries and that they're not old and that they still got it?
I love it. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah. But yeah. Thanks for joining us here on Sports on Tap today. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, share, retweet, do it all.
All of it. Hit that bell, bitch. Ding!